Alright, I wanted to show you guys a video on how to change out a stud on the rear axle of a 2008 Ford F-250. This should apply for most of the Ford F-250s, but the 2008 model had disc brakes on the rear, so it has a rotor. I'll show you right here. So this is the rotor that came off. Just takes a little persuasion with a hammer. Make sure your emergency brakes are off. Okay. So for any reason you need to change a stud, whether they have been galled up or they're broken, I'll show you one here. So this is one that I pulled off already, and I had bought a set of used lug nuts, and the problem is one of them was cross-threaded, and I broke the cardinal rule and tried to force it on there thinking that it might just go ahead and catch, but it was a stupid move on my part. So I am going to show you how to easily get a stud out and put a new one in. I should have a new stud here. Alright, so this is a new stud. I'm going to put the part number on this video when I'm done editing it. This is a new stud and a new lug nut. M14 by 1.5. That is what this uses. Okay, you can see I already got one in here. I have not hit it with the impact yet to draw that stud in, but I will do that. So I'm sure if you're changing this, you're familiar with how to take off the rotor that is also the hub on here. So this is your emergency brakes. They are brake shoes that ride inside of the hub like a drum. So they're like drum brakes. Really, really good stuff. So first what I did is I took a crowbar or a pry bar right here, and I pried out on this. That's with the emergency brakes off. Now what that allowed me to do is it has this little notch right here, and as you can see, go right to that little notch, so you don't have to take these brake shoes off. And there we go. There's the bad stud. This one also was galled up right there. Alright, and I'm going to take the lug nut off of this one. As you can see, you stick this back in that notch right there. Bring the stud back through, and we're going to put that lug nut on there. It's a little harder with one hand, but it can be done. Here we go. Alright, let's see here. Next I'm going to take an impact and a 12mm socket, oh I'm sorry, 21mm socket, and I'm going to draw these in. So I've got my leaky air gun here. It's just the fitting, that's all. Alright. Sorry that the strap's getting in the way there. Let me see if I can pull that back. There we go. Alright, that looks good. I should be able to pull off on this pretty easy. There we go. Got a new stud replaced. And next I will show you me putting the hub and the rotor back on. And I'm going to show you right here how easy this is to push back in. There we go. Now the emergency brake shoe is back in place. Nothing had to be taken off. It was really easy. Again, there's that little notch right there that you can use to remove the stud and to put a new one in. And when you're hammering them out, you just take a hammer like this and just smack them, and they'll come right out. Napa sells these studs and the lug nuts, and I'll give you a part number in there. Ford also sells them, so I'll put a Ford part number. They're kind of expensive. It's $5.99 for a stud, and it is around $5 for a lug nut. And also, the only thing I had to do was remove the brake caliper. It's 2 bolts. There's another bolt here, and you just set it aside. I used my child's little dump truck. He had fun helping me with that. Just set it aside so you're not putting any tension on this brake line. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff back together and video that. Alright, got the new studs in. You can see right here. Now I'm going to put the disc back on, or the rotor. Sorry, I don't know why I called it a disc. Put it on the rotor and the drum back on here. So. Alright. Alright, I'm just going to give it a little tap. Let's see. Alright, next will be the caliper, and just gotta stick that up on there, just like this. Tell you what, this is not easy doing with one hand. So, the top nut right here, we're going to stick that in. Not quite lined up. I think that got it. Alright, that's one. Alright, we got the other one here. There's the first one I've just started. And keep getting this damn strap. Alright, there's the first one there. We got it started. Now, let me go down to the bottom. We'll hopefully get that lined up. Let's see, there we go. Oh. Having a little bit of an issue getting that one to go in for some reason. Alright, there we go. Just had to get it lined up right, and it's not that easy with one hand. Alright, but I was too lazy to bring out the tripod, and just would have been in my way anyways. Alright, so you can see you got the rotor back on, which is the hub for the emergency brakes. Didn't have to do anything, didn't have to press out on any of the pads or anything. So basically, to actually remove all this stuff, you're just going to start off with removing this bolt, removing that bolt down there. You're going to pull this off, have something resting right here, or if you got a long enough brake line, which I don't think you will, you might be able to rest it up on here, but I wasn't able to. You could probably rest it on the axle as well, the axle tube. Anyways, once you do that, you're going to make sure that your emergency brake is off, and then you might have to hammer around this a little bit depending on what area you live in. And this should come off, the drum itself should come right off, and then you can proceed with taking the stud out like I showed you earlier on in the video. Now I can put the wheel back on and tighten everything down after I tighten these 2 bolts. This uses the same 21mm socket. Of course, this is an American truck, but everything has gone to metric, just to let you know. And again, these studs and the lug nuts are M14 by 1.5. Alright, so I got the wheel back on. All these lug nuts went on there well, and I'm happy again. I was swapping some fancy wheels or whatnot, I guess. Swapping some 35-inch tires for these stock size tires. They are, what is it? 245 75 17s.